Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So Manchester United drew with Crystal Palace and 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go. The last 10 minutes probably went as bad as it possibly could for Manchester United, with Casemiro picking up a booking, which means he'll now miss that game against Arsenal on Sunday, and Manchester United conceding that late goal, which cost us 2 big points. How that opportunity at the end of the game as well didn't go in from Casemiro, who was basically on the line. Only God will know that one. But Manchester United obviously dropped points. It's still 10 games unbeaten, and I think there's still a lot of positives to take. And you wake up today and you feel, you know what, things aren't as bad as it felt last night. We were gutted because we conceded late on and the performance wasn't great in the second half, but it has been an incredible run, and there's still a lot of positives to take, and it's not the end of the world. There's plenty more to fight for in the season. But we have to look forward to that game against Arsenal. And without Casemiro, how are Manchester United going to do without Casemiro? How will we line up without him? And how do we beat Arsenal without Casemiro? Because it is going to be a difficult task. Now, after the game against Crystal Palace, the manager said he's a really important player for us and a reason we're in this position. But last time we beat Arsenal without Casemiro, we need to do it again. And that is a good point. We did beat them without him last time, but I do think both teams are in much better form than they were at that point. And therefore, we obviously have to be a little bit more wary of Arsenal, but we could also be a little bit more confident about some of our players. But there were a few tired legs in that second half against Crystal Palace. And you looked around at the squad and you thought, you can see why we're not going to be in a real title challenge this season, because the squad is lacking. If there's an injury or a suspension, as we've seen to Casemiro or Rashford or someone like that, and even with Martial out, our front line doesn't look as good. So, our squad is very thin. We need to buy players in key positions and strengthen the squad. And, Erik ten Hag needs to get backed. He's not going to get backed in this transfer window, so we have to wait until the summer. But it's his first season, and this season was always about building those foundations for success. And I truly believe Ten Hag is well on the way to doing that. I'm still confident we can get a result against Arsenal, although it's going to be much more difficult. Now, let's discuss who we're going to put into our team, into our 11, with Casemiro being out. And obviously, I want you lot as well to get your 11s in the comments below. Before we do get stuck into my predicted lineups for that game, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, liking, commenting, sharing, etc. Get hitting that subscribe button though, because we're on around 130,000 at the minute. I want to hit 150k ASAP, and I can only do that with your help. Also, we've launched a new channel. When I say we, I mean myself, Rory and Boovy. It's called The Club. The link's in the description below. We're live for our first show on Saturday, and we'll have a podcast every Wednesday from next week. So make sure you're keeping it locked for that. But let's get stuck into these predicted lineups, or maybe one of them's my preferred lineup. I've tried to think out of the box a little bit with that one. And one of them is maybe a little bit more of a predicted lineup. But I'll go with the one that is my maybe preferred, thinking out of the box kind of lineup. And in this one, I've gone with 3 centre-backs. I've gone with a sort of 3-4-1-2 formation. And look, it'd be changing formation up, and Ten Hag's kind of had things settled, but we know the manager has it within his armoury to change things up a little bit if needs be. And also, we know that his style of play isn't just fixed to one formation. You know what I mean? So he could possibly do this. Now, obviously, gone with David De Gea in goal. The 3 centre-backs that I've picked are Varane, Martinez and Shaw. Now, there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it after I go through the lineup. Wan-Bissaka and Malacia as the fullbacks. Unlikely Diogo Dalot is going to be back, but I think Wan-Bissaka has been excellent. Fernandes and Fred with Eriksen. Martial is fit, and Rashford up top. Hopefully Martial's fit, because Weghorst didn't, he needs some time to get up to speed with what Manchester United are doing, to be totally honest. And, we can't judge him just off that 70 minutes, but we need to give him some time. And we look at that first half against Man City. We're a lot better team with Martial leading the line for all the criticism that he does get. So that's the team that I thought of this morning. I've gone with Fernandes next to Fred. because I think he's a little bit more robust, a little bit more, up for the foot. Eriksen will stick his foot in, but I think Bruno's a little bit better at doing that. And then I've gone with Malacia Shaw at the left centre-back position, because I think Martinez could push forward and potentially act as an optional midfielder at times when we're on the ball. And then you kind of go into a more 4-3-3 type formation. And then Malacia can push on. Luke Shaw could even come across. You become a back four again if Malacia does push on. So I look at that and I think that's a team that could possibly get something. We're going to have to be defensively robust and especially cover for the lack of presence from Casemiro. The extra centre-back does that, and I think Fred can be the workhorse in front of them. And Fernandes in there as well. I just don't think McTominay's got it in him to put in a performance against Arsenal without getting overrun in that midfield. You've got Thomas Partey, Xhaka, Ødegaard, etc. I'm not sure McTominay's the guy for that. Maybe the manager will trust him, but I've gone with that team as one of my options. And then the second one I've gone with is the one that's probably more likely, to be totally honest with you. David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Luke Shaw as the back four, with Eriksen, Fred. That's probably going to be McTominay, but I've gone Eriksen. And Fred, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Martial if he's fit, and Garnacho. Now I've gone Garnacho on the left, Rashford on the right, because I think for as good as Zinchenko is, he does leave a few gaps in behind him, and if he starts, I think Rashford could exploit that. We saw a few gaps there in the home game. It's where Anthony scored from, but there was also a few other times where I thought, if you push on it, the pace a little bit there, you get a few more openings from him, and maybe Marcus Rashford could expose that. Again, it depends if Martial is fit to start. If not, you're probably going to see Wout Weghorst, or I would possibly go Rashford through the middle, Garnacho on the left, and Anthony on the right if Martial isn't available. But that's the team that's probably closer to the one we're going to see. Maybe give or take an Anthony or a McTominay here or there. So those are the 11s that I've kind of gone with. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. How do we get through this game without Casemiro? Will we beat Arsenal again? Now, weirdly enough, I've woken up today feeling more confident about the Arsenal game because we're going into it on the back of a draw. Maybe will they underestimate us a little bit? Will they get carried away because Casemiro's not playing? Will the away game suit us a little bit? We're tired at the moment. Maybe sitting in, hitting someone on the counter-attack, could suit us. But weirdly, if we won yesterday, I would have been shitting it for the game on Sunday. Because we've dropped points, had that disappointment, the expectations are lowered. I don't know. Something's telling me we might do well. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it locked. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.